Pikmin. Whether you love it or hate it, it got a sequel. Welcome to the Zabrood Archives. This is a series that technically started with the Pikmin 1 vid, but I didn't come up with a semi-cool name. In this video, I will be going over a bunch of stuff about Pikmin 2. Don't worry, you don't need to find my house and burn it to the ground. I enjoy playing Pikmin 2. The basic idea of the plot is that after you come back from the Pikmin planet PNF 404, after barely escaping with your life, the president of Hocotate Fright, the company that you work for, has fallen into debt. However, a bottle cap brought back by Olimar for his son as a souvenir was recognized to be worth 100 pocos, or pocos, which is Hocotate's currency. After the president realizes that this could be his savior, he sends you back to the definitely not Earth planet, which has tons of treasures to repay the 10,000 Poco debt. 201 in total. You're also sent with this idiot Louie. He ran into a giant space bunny while delivering some golden pick carrots, which caused the debt in the first place. After Olimar hits the tree, seriously, this man is terrible at driving, and reuniting with the red Pikmin, we get to showcase one of the new mechanics from Pikmin 2. With one press of the Y button, you can switch from playing as Olimar to playing as Louie. This makes multitasking so much easier. After collecting a battery treasure and ending the day, you can return to the Valley of Repose, in which you can go and fight some enemies, collect a treasure, break down a wall, and you get to see your first cave. These are multi-floor dungeons with dangerous falling traps, hard enemies, insta-kill hazards, extremely tough bosses, and what the... However, the first cave is not like this. It only has 3 treasures and 2 floors. On the second floor, you find some violet candy pop buds. For those who don't know, candy pop buds are special flowers that can turn up to 5 of your Pikmin into the color corresponding to the color of the flower. These flowers were in Pikmin 1, but they weren't very prevalent, only really being used for a puzzle. These things let you access purple Pikmin. Purple Pikmin are easily S tier, and they're the best Pikmin in the series. First of all, they have a 2x strength multiplier, which beats the red's measly 1.5. If you throw a purple Pikmin, the impact damage deals 5 times the amount of damage as a standard attack, like a yellow or blue, with normal damage. If the initial slam doesn't kill, it has a chance to stun enemies. As little as 20 purple can easily demolish practically any enemy. On top of that, they have 10 times the carrying power of a normal Pikmin. However, they are very frustratingly slow. Now for some less useful but cooler niches. They've got a 2x digging speed because dig speed is tied to attack power in this game. They can weigh down flying enemies instantly due to their immense girth. They're also immune to being blown around by wind and cannot panic due to an enemy screaming or gosh darn metites appearing out of the ground causing you to wake up 3 Emperor Bullblaxes. Now, I think that they definitely could have been more balanced, and the Pikmin 2 type imbalance is one of my main issues. I cannot deny that purples are super fun to use. Talking about Pikmin types, in Pikmin 2, reds are the first you get. They have a 1.5 damage multiplier and are immune to fire. Now, the 1.5x damage definitely doesn't matter as it does in 1, as they are both outclassed by purple Pikmin's 2x multiplier and spicy spray, which I will talk about later. However, they can actually be pretty useful on the first or maybe the second playthrough, as purples do not have an onion, and you need to save up your purples if you only want to run through the Subterranean complex or Bullblax kingdom a few times. Their fire immunity can be decently useful, as many sublevels in the game are filled with fire geysers, and although you can kill the fiery Bullblax enemy, a bulborb completely engulfed with fire, you can technically kill them with purples. It is harder and messier. Sadly, they've fallen from grace and are in C tier. With your newly found purple Pikmin, you can get a globe treasure, which allows you to access the next area, the Awakening Wood. When you enter the Awakening Wood, it's a nice wooded area with some cherry petals falling down. It has some basic enemies like the red bulborbs and the new creeping chrysanthemums, which disguise themselves as flowers in the ground and burst out to attack when you walk over them. Another cool new Pikmin 2 feature is spicy sprays. To get sprays, you either need to get lucky and get them from eggs or beetles, or you can go to special plants called spiderworts, which drop 5 berries each. With 10 berries, you get 1 fun potion bottle. The spicy spray makes Pikmin more powerful and more fast. However, the spicy spray doesn't just double the damage. It simply sets it to 10 damage, which is the standard damage, and then speeds it up by 2, effectively making it 20 damage. The speed also sets Pikmin to a finite faster walking speed. Overall, Spicy Spray is really broken, and you can even push a captain into a dollop of nectar from like an egg or something, and then you run into the puddle yourself to trick the game into thinking you collected 2 sprays, and it gives you 2 spray bottles instead of 1. It's great. Now you can enter the first 2 caves in the Awakening Wood, the Hole of Beasts, and the White Flower Garden. The Hole of Beasts mostly has bulborb and fire geysers. There are a couple purple flowers to increase your purple count, also. On the final floor, you see the first boss battle of the game, the Empress Bullblax. This giant bulborb with a massive egg sac rolls around and crushes Pikmin. After you beat her, hopefully not deleting all of your purples from existence, you get a treasure radar. However, it sounds like this. The White Flower Garden is up next, and it has some Sheargrubs and Fire Blowhogs as enemies. It also introduces a completely new hazard, poison. It comes out from certain enemies like the Munged Dweevil and Poison Pipes, which pretty much act like fire geysers with a wider radius, and they never turn off. Also, here in the White Flower Garden, we find some white flowers.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
These are some more candy pop buds, and they give us a completely new type of Pikmin. Say hello to the white Pikmin. These guys are super fast. They have standard damage like yellows and blues, however. The speed is really fun, because I like to watch them schmoove. Also, they are immune to poison and can dig up fully buried objects because of their big eyes or something, I don't know. You can even get some compensation for their death because of their poison blood. I would consider them the second best in Pikmin 2, at a respectable A tier. After you get the white Pikmin and beat a burrowing snagret on the final floor, you can break down a wall with poison gas pipes in it, and you can get another globe, then move on to the next area. When you get in, you may notice that it looks pretty familiar. It is in fact the distant spring from Pikmin 1, but with new enemies and obstacles. The Awakening Wood is also the Forest of Hope, with new enemies and stuff. While exploring, you can also find some new spiderworts, with purple berries. You now get access to the bitter spray. This is one of your most powerful and broken tools in the entire game. It turns enemies into stone. Like, they can't do anything. It's like for almost 10 seconds. And if you kill an enemy while it's petrified, it's completely vaporized. Well, although you don't get a corpse. However, there is a very small chance for some extra sprays to drop, which is very nice. After some puzzles and enemy counters, you find some old light-hearted friends, yellow Pikmin. Yellow Pikmin from Pikmin 2 are probably where yellows peaked. Their ability to throw higher was kept from 1. It's even more utilized now. Flying enemies like snitch bugs and the new careening Dirigi bugs, it's pretty useful for them. Also, while in Pikmin 1, there was only 1 spider boss, in 2, there are 3. Although bomb rocks can no longer be used by Pikmin, and are instead dropped from the sky upon you, there is a new hazard, electricity. It is one of the most dangerous hazards in the series, instantly evaporating Pikmin that are not yellow as soon as they slightly brush an electric current, with the electric spiders and the electric beetles having like full colonies in half the caves. You usually want to bring at least 10. However, as you get better at the game, they become less prevalent once you start being able to deal with the electric hazards with any Pikmin. Like, once you get the confidence to do it. But they're still very useful. A tier. Now, on to the next cave. The Citadel of Spiders. This cave has a really cool aesthetic with roots and sand. Also because of the electric enemies and hazards, and the fact that it's like 2 feet away from home base, it allows you to choose to go here before you get yellows, like, or after. And if you do get yellows for this cave, it will become much, much easier. Sublevel 2 is probably my favorite. I really like avoiding the geysers and quickly sweeping through with the purples. The boss is the returning Beady Longlegs. Now, knowing that Pikmin 2 is harder than Pikmin 1, and Beady was one of the hardest bosses in 1, how hard is Beady now? What happened to you? Now that you have yellows, you can break an electric fence in the Awakening Wood and get some blue Pikmin. Blue Pikmin don't really change at all from 1 to 2, which probably makes them worse in 2 than 1. Once again, they can go in water and save drowning Pikmin. Even purples, which weigh 10 Pikmin. Hey, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, 2 uses water kind of a lot less than 1 does. C tier, but definitely better than reds. The 2 caves in the second part of the Awakening Wood are the Bullblax Kingdom and the Snagret Hole. After a few elemental gates, you can progress to the easier cave of the 2, the Bullblax Kingdom. The Bullblax Kingdom has a steep ramp up in difficulty. It introduces traps like falling bomb rocks and boulders. They are most dangerous when they fall from the sky and surprise you, like when collecting the Colossal Fossil. You start seeing some tougher enemies here, like the white Wallyhops and the orange Bulborbs. A new Bulborb relative, which has more HP and wakes up as soon as you go within social distancing limits with it. This cave is 7 sublevels long, and it's a really fun cave with great music, which makes it feel like you're sneaking through a medieval kingdom of Bulborbs. On sublevel 7, the boss is the returning Emperor Bullblax. You may be saying, oh shoot, the Emperor Bullblax? The final boss and one of the hardest enemies in the game? And after you beat the Bullblax, you get a treasure which grants your suit fire immunity. After collecting more treasure and building some bridges with blues, you can enter the final and hardest cave in the Awakening Wood, the Snagret Hole. Cave vibes, in my opinion. Like on the first sublevel, you go into a birdhouse through a tree. Then on the next sublevel, it looks like a garden, so it kind of feels like you jumped out of the birdhouse. This sublevel is also 7 floors long. Also, some of them are weirdly made of rusty metal and have bottomless pits. These are kind of my least favorite because, you know, it just really breaks the aesthetic. There are a total of 4 burrowing snagrets in this cave, with one more right outside the cave, acting as a sort of a guard. Fun fact, the snagret outside is referred to by the fanbase the Good Fortune Snagret. Supposedly, if you defeat the snagret in one cycle, you get better luck in the cave. Side effects of the Good Fortune Snagret include nausea, headaches, vomiting, and an intense belief in the true spirit of Christmas. On the final floor sublevel 7, you face a familiar-looking boss. Okay, it's just a snagret, not too bad. Wait, what's it doing? Oh no, they've evolved. They're orange now, no. That's so much cooler than white. Oh yeah, also they can mobilize above land with their singular leg. This boss is actually pretty cool, even though it takes it kind of long to fight and it's a bit stally. I think it and the rest of the cave definitely redeems the snagret lineage for this game. The treasure that drops from the pileated snagret gives your spacesuit extra defense. Now with yellows and blues, you can access the other 2 caves in the Perplexing Pool. Hey, isn't there a 4th cave? No, of course there isn't one, you silly. So, the 2, not 3 other caves in the Perplexing Pool are the Glutton's Kitchen and the Shower Room. Firstly, the Glutton's Kitchen. The Glutton's Kitchen has a playroom floor aesthetic, with stuff like a train track, toy boxes, and toy houses for you to run around on. The only hazard is electricity, so be sure to bring plenty of yellows to this cave. This is always a fun one to run through, as the difficulty hits the sweet spot. The cave has 6 sublevels, and there are tons of fun ones. On the 3rd floor, there's a tambourine and a xylophone with lots of puffy blowhogs and anode beetles. On sublevel 4, a bullbear shows up to terrorize you. If the Pikmin 1 bullbears were hard, then the Pikmin 2 bullbears can be nightmares. They are always awake and roaming around the map. If they see you, they will not stop chasing you, so don't leave your Pikmin at home base unless you want them to be pillaged by the bullbear. There are also hordes of dwarf bullbears on the floor, and tons of bread bugs, also pillaging food treasures and causing some pretty silly issues. On the final floor, you get a completely unique picnic aesthetic with plates, ham, a fried egg, and a donut. You have to wrestle with not only 2 bread bugs, but a giant, thick bread bug. After you defeat it, you get an eraser that grants you immunity to electricity. The shower room has a cool bathroom tile aesthetic, which for some reason makes this cave feel a little bit bland, as all the floors kind of look the same and use the same enemies. However, on sublevel 4, you get one of the most iconic treasures in the game. Yep, you're seeing that right. This cave has 7 sublevels, and I don't really have a favorite one of them. The final floor has the Ranging Bloister boss, which chases your active captain and tries to eat Pikmin with its many tongues. You can actually pretty easily cheese the boss by going up behind it, throwing some Pikmin on, swapping your captain, and repeating. It'll just get confused, and then you can kill it easily. The Valley of Repose is my favorite area in Pikmin 2. It's the only area with original layout design. After breaking down a wall submerged in water and draining the water, you get access to the second part of the area. This is sort of where the overworld ramps up in difficulty. You start seeing dangerous enemies like a fiery Bullblax, a bulborb completely on fire, which makes it so that only reds or purples can defeat it. Or you can lead it into water to extinguish the flames temporarily. You also have to deal with cannon larvae, which spit out boulders, and the orange one spits out homing boulders. Both of them can yeet Pikmin farther than Olympic javelin tossers. It's pretty easy to 100% this area in 2 days. However, all of the treasures are quite fun to collect. There are 2 other caves in this area, which we will look at now. The Frontier Cavern. This is one of my favorite caves in Pikmin 2. Difficulty is great, and all of the many floors, of which there are 8, are fun to me. Most of the floors are pretty snowy, and there's sort of a Christmas theme going on. There's like a Christmas present, a Christmas ornament, a snow boot, and a star. On sub-level 1, there's a bunch of bomb rocks. On sub-level 3, you get a bull bear jump scare and brick wall jump scare. And on sub-level 6, you have to deal with water and cannon larvae. It's also in this cave where you will probably find the secret 6th type of Pikmin. Bulbman are found following a larger bulbman mother, which also has the appearance of a red bulborb with a leaf sprouting out of its spine. If there are enough empty spaces in your party, 10 small bulbmen will follow it. After brutally murdering their mother with your entire army, the children run around and scream in panic. Now, you can whistle them, and they join your party. They are immune to fire, water, poison, and electricity. However, they do the standard 10 damage per hit, and their speed is also normal. They can also not be taken out of caves, which kinda balances them out. However, in the caves they are in, they completely invalidate certain types. They don't exactly beat the purples due to, like, the whole drawback of not being able to be taken out of caves, the standard damage, movement, but they're still definitely S tier. The boss of this cave is an Empress Bullblax. However, it is on a tall hill, and it is constantly giving live birth to bulborb larvae. If a Pikmin gets in their mouth, they die practically instantly. There is no saving them. However, they do only have 5 HP, so you can really just bash their head in with your captain's fist. After you beat her, you get a shoe, which increases your captain's movement speed. It really helps and make things more convenient. However, sometimes your Pikmin can lag behind. The Subterranean complex is also one of my favorite caves. The first floor is a snowy floor, but from then on, the floors are all narrow hallways with rusty metals over an infinite abyss of doom, which will kill any Pikmin that fall into it. This cave is 7 floors long. They aren't all perfect. A lot of the enemies use explosives, such as a bug flying with balloons that throws bomb rocks, a kamikaze spider with a bomb strapped to it, and a stupid goldfish with a cannon that can literally come back to life after you killed it if you don't take their corpse to the ship immediately. Oh yeah, also the bull bears can do this too for some reason. However, you usually can take their corpse to the ship. I've never had them revive on me before. The boss is, well, just let the clip speak for itself. The man at legs is kind of like the beady long legs, except is covered in mechanical stuff, and it fires a real machine gun and attempts to shoot you and your Pikmin. After you defeat the militarized spider, you will most likely pay off the 10,000 Poco debt. You leave the planet, think back on the little Pikmin which helped you on your adventures, and then you realize that you accidentally left Louie on the planet. You get to watch a cool credits section, watching Louie run around and chill on PNF 404. And I mean, like, he isn't really in trouble, he's just, like, kind of vibing. After you return, you need to go back to save Louis, but you need a second captain. Who will join you? The President has arrived! He is one of the fan favorite characters in the franchise. You can go to the final area, the Wistful Wild, to get every treasure, attempt to rescue Louis. So there is a fourth cave in the Perplexing pool called the Submerged Castle. The entrance is in the middle of a pool with no way to drain it, so you can really only enter with blues. It also has all of the hazards in it, which makes it much harder but possible to traverse with blues. It's also just a really hard cave. It's got loads of tough enemies, such as a fiery Bullblax, falling volatile dweevils, and other stuff. Not to mention, it just got kind of a creepy aesthetic with a wonky soundtrack, which just adds to the vibe. Also, after 5 minutes on one sublevel, this happens. Say hello to the water wraith. He may look like Bubble Buddy, but he is in no way your buddy. Those rollers he rides on will instantly crush any unfortunate Pikmin, which were too slow.
What should we do?
However, this cave is only 5 floors deep, so the game politely minimizes your need to run from this horror demon. How considerate. On floor 2, you get some bulbman, which help out a lot in dealing with the hazards and just increasing your numbers. On the final floor, you get access to violet candy pop buds, and due to the lore that the water wraith's physical form is in another dimensional or gravitational wave fake Pikmin science being able to anchor its form in this dimension, you can attack it with some purples. Now that you have purples, the fight is comically easy, and after you break its rollers, it runs around, can even run out of breath. After you kill him, you get a treasure that allows you to pluck Pikmin by just whistling. The Wistful Wild has the hardest overworld in the game, and probably in the entire series, with loads of dangerous enemies like orange bulborbs, decorated cannon larvas, and a roaming Gatling groink. Every 30 days in this area, like day 1, 31, 61, and 91, which is extra, you'll find these weird bugs called the Ujidani. They are the only enemies that do not get logged into the Piklopedia, which I'll talk about later. They use poison as an attack, but they drop spicier or bitter spray. However, most playthroughs will end before day 31, so it's pretty rare to find them just on accident. This area can be pretty easily cleared in 2 days, and you do have to be quite careful in order to make it out with no deaths. And it's very fun, except for one part. The Doomsday Apparatus is my least favorite treasure in the Pikmin franchise, and for good reason. It is a gigantic dumbbell which needs 1,000 Pikmin to carry it, meaning you need 100 purples. And you need candy pop buds to get purples, so you need to be saving up purples. And you should bring them basically everywhere, so that you can use their broken combat abilities, so some are inevitably going to die. There's not even enough of these flowers in the caves to get 100 purples, so you need to go and grind a couple times. Now, the 2 caves I would recommend for grinding purples are the Bullblax Kingdom and the Subterranean Complex. So you have 100 purples, and you think, oh, now I can collect it and not waste any more time. Why is it barely moving? It takes a full quarter of the day to put it in, and you can't even multitask because all 100 Pikmin are out at once. However, the purple grind doesn't take too long, and you can just watch YouTube or something while it's being carried. However, it's still pretty cringe, and it's not fun. However, now, a bit past some enemies and the Doomsday Apparatus is the first cave in the Wistful Wild, the Cavern of Chaos. It sure does live up to its name. The Cavern of Chaos is the easiest and shortest of the 3 Wistful Wild Caves. It's 10 sub-levels long, and filled with as many enemies as the game can hold. The theme of the floors change every 2 to 3 sub-levels. Some notable floors include sub-level 2 for having 3 fire Bullblaxes, the final floor for having a very hard boss, and sub-level 8 for having 54 Dwarf Red Bulborbs and 2 Gatling Groinks. On the final floor, you have to fight this lovely guy, the Segmented Cropster. He rolls around and crushes your Pikmin, but if he slams into a wall, he slips over and can hit his cool, shiny underside weak point thingy. Anyway, after beating it and getting
The silencer.
you can move on to the next cave, the Hole of Heroes. The Hole of Heroes is a very fun cave to run through, although it can drag on slightly. It is a whopping 15 sublevels long, the longest in the game. It is the only cave to have less treasures than sublevels. Although a lot of the floors are very dense with enemies, like sublevel 9, which has every type of bulborb except for the bosses. It's sort of a boss rush. It contains every previous boss except for the giant bread bug and water wraith. After dealing with things like a burrowing and pileated snagret at the same time, and 2 Emperor Bullblaxes with mitites, or mitites, that pop out of the ground, scaring your Pikmin, causing them to wake up the Bullblaxes and have more opportunity to attack. You reach sublevel 15, which you have to fight the Raging Longlegs, a giant black and purple spider boss, which is considerably lower to the ground, so purples are more optimal here. Although, it's not too hard, but mistakes can cause dozens of lives. After you beat it, you get a Rob head, which the ship names Remember Old Buddy. I just think that's really cute. Now we can go to the finale of Pikmin 2, the Dream Den, to get the rest of the treasures and save Louie. The Dream Den is the most difficult cave in Pikmin 2, and is often the last one completed. It is 14 sublevels long. There are tons of enemies. Also, there is no way to increase your numbers, like Bulbman or the Queen Candy Pop Buds, and the casualties will happen. Sublevel 2, you gotta deal with a Gatling Groink on a tower. On sublevel 3, a bullbear is dropped upon you from the sky. On floor 8, there are 14 different dweevils, breadbugs, burrownits, blowhogs, and bumbling snitchbugs. You get floor 12's bulborbs, beetles, and boulders. After sublevel 13's gang of grub dogs, you can finally reach the final floor. This is the final challenge. Let's go. You enter on a wide circular arena to find Louie. He appears to be unharmed and resting upon a mound of treasure. How he got down here with all of the enemies is a mystery. But as you get close to him, 4 gigantic legs emerge from the ground, and then an abdomen, which was what was really carrying Louie and the treasure. This is the Titan Dweevil, the final boss. The Titan Dweevil uses the 4 treasures it carries as weapons to attack you. After knocking all the parts off, you can attack the fleshy body underneath, and after killing it and watching it dissolve, you can collect the treasures and Louie. After collecting all the treasures, you can leave. And the Pikmin have a really nice and heartwarming send-off, in which they randomly begin to gain the ability to glow. Now Olimar can finally see his family. Okay, now time for my issues. Now a lot of people will say this is an unfair game, an unbalanced game, and a shame on the Pikmin series. I actually really enjoyed the difficulty, and I don't think it's too unbalanced. The insta-kill hazards aren't too bad, and I actually feared the hazards. I miss the difficulty from this game in Pikmin 1. In 3, it's super easy, and in 4, it only really ramps up at, the tail end of the game. And also, for the falling traps, you need good reaction time, but not, perfect reaction time. One thing I wish Pikmin 2 did was have some more above ground exploration. Like, I love the caves, but I wish that there was more on the surface. Also, the Pikmin types are a bit unbalanced, with the broken bulbman and the powerful purples. Quite good types like whites and yellows, pretty good blues, and just generally bad reds. However, I still really like this game, and all the Pikmin are quite fun to use, except for reds, and the controls are very intuitive and quite fluid. Alright, so in terms of Pikmin 2 versus Pikmin 1, I think overall 2 is slightly better. The longer adventure of 2 beats the short adventure of 1 for me. I also really like the new Pikmin and the new mechanics. However, I do think that 1 makes you a lot more emotionally attached to the Pikmin, as, like, in 1, you're depending on each other to survive, instead of exploiting them for monetary value in 2. Yippee! Okay, so I love Pikmin 2, just like all the other games in the franchise. Now, I'm not sure it's my favorite, but, like, I love the caves, the new Pikmin, the new enemies, the president. Louis can burn in a pit for all I care. And I really enjoy this game with my whole heart. Thank you for watching this video. I put so much effort into this. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, leave a like, and a comment. And this has been Zabruto. Goodbye.